Welcome back to the PDR Coach Podcast, Trainers Edition, where I interview the top trainers in our industry for you so that you can make the best decision on where to go learn the art and skill of PDR. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Great, man. So like I just explained to you, we're got a list of questions. We're going to go down, kind of interview you for your school and see what we have to say. So start very basic.
Okay, great.
What's your name and what's the name of your training school?
Okay, I'm Rob McDowell, and I've got Paintless Dent Repair University, and the website's paintlessdentrepairuniversity.com, and I'm based out of Louisville, Kentucky.
That was the next question. Where's your facility located? Okay. Louisville, Kentucky. There you go. Yeah. Are you, or have you ever been a technician? If so, for how long?
Yeah, I started as a technician in 1998 and started training in the year 2000 and actually opened a facility in 2010. And I've been a trainer since 2000 and done training on site and out of my facility.
Nice. Why or how kind of did you start the training school? And again, how long you've been training since you said since year 2000, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why or how did you start the school?
And so how I started the school was I grew up in a customer service family, and since I was 14 years old, I've always instructed something. When I was 14, I instructed golf. In the military, I was a small arms and because I was in tanks, I also instructed on tanker training. And when I got out of the military, started college, was trained in computer stuff, and I've always trained. And it's because I can take things and make them so that people can understand them. I mean, I'm not going to say stupid people because, nobody's actually stupid. It's those that don't understand what we do. And so when I was a technician, one of the basics that we train our customer, and they go, "Hey, what's paintless dent repair?" Well, paintless dent repair is the art of doing, taking out dents, dings, and damage with tools and equipment, so we don't have to paint. It keeps the OEM finish. Blah 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 blah. And so from that point on, as a technician, then I got people that found out I was a good technician, then would come train with me, and then grew the business to where I had to figure out, you know what, I can't do the follow me method that almost every dent guy uses, and establish a training process, a facility, got into manufacturer training, and now I train the world.
There you go. How many techs have you trained? And then an extra question. So if you have an idea of how many you trained, and then kind of if you have any handle on their success and or how many are still pushing. So kind of a big question.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is tough.
Over 1,000 because I've trained so many factory technicians, and then also factory, and then large automotive groups, not dealerships, but like detail, because I'm also a consultant in the total recon or complete recon. So I've done a lot of training for in-house technicians for big detail groups that are doing car wash stuff and that type of stuff. So, I mean, I've had my hands on a lot of technicians over the years. I estimate over 1,000 because I average, just out of my facility and the large group training that I do in the factories, about 150 technicians a year. So take that times, 2010, and we're at, that many.
1,000, 1,500, something like that.
Yeah.
But hard to tell what the success rate is.
Well, and so when we look at success rate, I've trained people that have come, like military guys that have come, and they learn paintless dent repair. They can do it. I mean, we're doing before and after pictures so that they can work on their marketing when they get out of class. So they can have something to put on their Facebook, websites, all that kind of stuff. So I'm taking before and after pictures, and also encourages them that they can get stuff done. But I've had a couple people that I know of that, they get with me later and say, hey, I'm just not feeling it. Like I had one guy was like, you know what? I spent 20 years in the Navy. I don't really want to do paintless dent repair because there's too much involved. I'm like, hey, that's all right. And he went into doing insurance or something like that. So, I have people like that, but for the most part, people are coming with a purpose. And just take, for instance, I've got 3 guys that came through last month. I mean, 2 guys, two of the 3. I mean, the one was a brother of a technician. He went right out to the field and started working with his brother. Mm-hmm. The 2 guys, one's a body shop technician, grew up in a body shop. The other one's just a guy. And those 2 guys went out, scored a body shop on a recent hail storm, and they're pumping out hail cars. And it's, and they're doing softball sized dents on this storm. And if there's dent guys everywhere, why would those 2 guys go score a body shop in the current environment? That means that there's not dent guys everywhere, and there's there's work for everybody.
Yeah. So. Gotcha. So how many technicians do you train at a time, and how long is the training?
Okay, so I'm a small group trainer, comes from my military background. I go up to 4 technicians at a time, no more than 4. I really don't like one technician one-on-one at the basics, is because what I've seen is that the one-on-one, that technician that you're training tends to always be asking, well, how am I doing? How am I doing? And they get leaning on me too much. Whereas in a small group, I can be training somebody over here, get somebody, make some adjustments, do the over the shoulder coaching, and then they get out, start doing whatever. And as soon as I walk away, they start to relax and they can do the skill right, because they're like,
So you train up to 4 at a time for how long?
Up to 4. For 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So I do 1 week, which is basics, quarter size, top panel, side panel, and then in the advanced class, cannonballs, crowns, creases, body line dents. Of course, in the fundamentals, I do aluminum, glue, basic glue pulling. We do advanced glue pulling in the advanced class. Combination damage like hail.
Gotcha. I'll stop you. We'll get to those questions a little bit. Yeah. So up to 4 people, sometimes a little less. 2 weeks training for the beginner course. You may offer other courses, which I'll ask you about shortly.
Okay, so a week for beginner, 1 week for advanced. 2 weeks
2
total.
Weeks. Boom. Got it. Okay.
And then I do a master's class twice a year, which is using dent dials and sand liner tools and that type of stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Why should a new tech pick your training school? What's unique about yours?
What's unique is because I'm a factory trainer, so I take somebody with no skill level that doesn't know what paintless dent repair is, and within 2 weeks, I've got them pushing out up to quarter size dent on the line while that vehicle's moving 30 seconds or less, and it's got to be perfect. So, my philosophy is leave me on Friday, work on Monday. And I had one guy come, and literally because he was sent by another technician, he left me 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock on Friday. That next morning, 7:30 in the morning, he was pushing hail. So, I'm sending technicians out to work right away.
Gotcha. What do you offer your trainees outside of just physical PDR training? So do you offer tools or a tools list? And do you help with PDR pricing, marketing, sales, anything that's non-physical pushing? Do you offer
Yeah.
anything there?
So how I kind of price things is a la carte. So the classes are separate from the tools. I offer tools or a tool list, but because of my technicians that are coming, a lot of technicians are coming because their dad sent them, or they're coming from a body shop that that already has some or most tools, so they can buy through me. But typically, I give them a list. I train them on what good quality tools are in our industry, and then they can decide what they want to do, who they want to buy from. All I am is I suggest to them and make sure that they are guided with good tools. Then customer service, how we do customer service and paintless dent repair, not a how you start your business, because some of the technicians are coming are from dealerships, body shops. They don't want me to train them in that. But what I do train is customer service wise. When we go into that used car manager and say, "Hey, I'm Rob from Rob's Awesome Dent Repair. I want to work for you," and that guy says, "You know what? I got a guy. I'll call you if I need you." As he throws your card in the wastebasket by his right foot. How do you get around that guy? So I've got a process, customer service wise, how we do wholesale, body shop, and retail customer service.
Can you summarize your philosophy of PDR training and how it works from a very high level? Like how metal works, how paintless dent repair works, things like that.
Yeah. And so I know I'm training all the theories, because I literally grew up as a PDR guy way back in the dark ages, in the 90s, using fluorescent lights and literally watching these videos from the 90s telling you how to do it that way, and ruined most technicians from that era. I'm a survivor. 99% of the guys that went through training back then didn't make it. And so I've gone through that phase. Then I've gone through the kind of the hybrid theory of old school, new school when the LED lights came out. And then I've got a theory that I train right now, that we see on most training videos from today's world. But from a philosophy standpoint, you got to learn how to read the metal, react to what it's telling you, and to facilitate that metal release so that the dent will come out properly. So from a high level is that if you don't know what you're doing with the metal, man, it's like teaching somebody. You can teach somebody to catch a fish, or you can teach somebody to fish. And there's two big differences. You've got all the kind of the mill schools out in California that are teaching an old system, and they're destined to fail. Whereas, myself and other industry trainers that you're interviewing, our reputation's tied up in them succeeding, in our students succeeding. So not only myself but everybody who are industry trainers. We need those students to be successful, or why are we training?
Do you teach anything about ergonomics and protecting your body?
Yes, definitely. So in class, first day of class, I'm teaching how we do what we do, things to protect, like our eyes, our back, our feet, how the body functions, what through the process of training, what parts of the body will be affected. A quarter of the students that come through, like 2 or 3 days into training, their hands start to go numb, and I'm saying, okay, this is what your body's doing, and your forearms are shifting all that tension into your hands until they get used to the process of paintless dent repair. So yeah, I'm teaching how we do what we do so that we can use our bodies properly, because paintless dent repair is the only reconditioning activity that is based on our physical muscle strength and ergonomics. Every other reconditioning has to do with applying a material. We are professional athletes. I mean, our forearms have the same strength and need to develop the same strength as professional arm wrestlers. So if you're not teaching ergonomics, I mean, then you don't know how to do painless dent repair. How's that?
That's an opinion. No comment. No comment.
That's fine. I mean, that's why.
I'm unbiased.
That's why we have a Facebook group. I mean, I'm in almost every Facebook group, but PDR and ergonomics. I mean, I think it was Sal Contreras that started that group, or somebody. I mean, why would we have it if it wasn't important?
Yeah, I'll keep you on track with the next question. I'm trying to stay unbiased. I have opinions on everything. Obviously, if you listen to my podcast, otherwise I have opinions. But I'm on my path.
Let me do the opinions, and you can just shake your head.
Do you train with lines, fog, or both?
I train with fog, and then go into lines. Okay, because I mean, let's do opinion based instruction here. Okay, so I grew up doing lines. Once I got the LED light, it took me about 3 to 4 days to transition, because I did not believe what I was seeing. I mean, to go from fluorescent to LED lights to where you're it's kind of, you're just like, you don't know if you're there or not. And then to go to LED lights that you can see exactly where you're pushing, how much you're pushing, and all that kind of stuff. But what do you do when your light goes down? Okay, I train on lines at the end of training, because if something happens, your battery crashes, your LED light stops working, I'm sorry, you're going to take out a piece of electrical tape, throw that thing on your and turn that thing into a reflector. So if you don't know how to do that, I mean, that would be I'd be remiss if I didn't train. I train both.
Got it. Do you train route work? Oh wait, yeah. Do you train route work, or route work retail, or hail, or both?
All three, because route and hail and retail are three different parts of our industry.
Sections, sure.
Okay. And so, yeah, I train all three. I tend to kind of get everybody out of the, hey, big money, hail, all that kind of stuff, because, because most of my area is Indiana and north of Kentucky, northern side of Kentucky. I've been doing hail for 20 some odd years. So, but I tell everybody, hey, hail is hard, and the type of hail that we have right now on this thinner metal, the difficulty is higher, and it's hard to make money doing good work and producing really fast unless you've got some years and experience on you. And I've got lots of opinions on that, but I usually tell my people when they're coming through class, stick to route, stick to retail, and if you want to go do a hailstorm sometime, man, just get with me, and I can hook you up with somebody, and just you can work a dealer gig for a week or something, just to get your feet wet and see if it's something you like. But I'm not the guy that's gonna get somebody prepared for like Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas, right now Indianapolis hail. I'm not the guy that's gonna tell somebody the crazy stuff about, hey, you're gonna make $1 bazillion doing hail, because that's just not right.
Do you teach working inverted upside down or right side up through a door?
Right side up. I never, when I first got into the industry, that was kind of a thing. I think it was the Dent Wizard guys that were doing the inverted stuff. And I was like, man, nah, it's just not me. So I trained standing up, sitting down, but the inverted, you know, I show them what inverted is, but I just never really that's just not my groove.
I think you answered this question kind of, but do you offer advanced courses? You said first week is beginning,
Yeah,
second week is advanced,
yeah,
but nothing separate.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got some students that come for a week and they'll do fundamentals. They'll go home because of scheduling, and then they'll come back a month or two later
Okay.
For advanced.
Sure.
And then I do a master's class once or twice a year.
Got it.
And that's kind of a different deal because on the master's class, I mean, we're doing master stuff with master tools. Typically, in the I mean, how our industry does master classes is you go watch somebody like Sal and those guys, play with their tools. But I mean, actually, I have them do those things. I mean, we make big smashes and do those things in the master's class. So,
Got it.
and I only take 4 students on that one too.
Twice a year.
So it's not
4
like
students.
twice a year.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you train?
So,
we already know this. You answered this earlier too. Do you train techs for any large companies?
yeah.
Do you care to share just a list of the companies, or no? It's up to you.
Yeah. I mean, all the manufacturers.
Okay.
And sometimes I get a heads up from some of the guys that are training, that are already PDR trainers that are like, hey, can I, or they'll say, hey, can you come up and fill a spot? I'm going to a hailstorm. Or typically what'll happen is that one of the department's managers at a factory will get on like Google AdWords and say, hey, and next thing you know, I'm down in a factory training. Or like I've got some facilities that are starting to send technicians to training up to me, but all the majors, and then like I've trained the technicians at Delta Sonic. They're a East Coast car wash group, and so I train their body technicians because a car wash will destroy cars. And so they've got anywhere from 4 to 6 technicians that I train on a fairly regular basis, so that when those guys are working on, the warranty repairs from the car wash, they can do, dents and dings and stuff, PDR wise, so they don't have to send it through their body shop.
Makes sense. So, do you offer like a certification or like a test to graduate training or anything like that? If so, what's it based on?
Yeah. And so that's a good question, because I do a certification, but it's an in-house certification. I mean, it's only good for marketing. But I'm Vail certified myself back in 2004. And so basically what I did is I looked at my Vail requirements for back then for the first level of technician. And I kind of duplicated that in my training, so that I could say, hey, this person is, if they were to go to Vail and take that test way back then, they could become a technician.
Got it.
Certified. But Vail has changed. Our environment has changed. But if, that was a standard that I thought, hey, we could, my people right now, when they graduate, can fit those standards. So there is a methodology to that. But I explained to everybody that, Vail is the only third-party certification in our industry. All the other certifications are kind of opinion-based. And so I can offer a certification that at least has some basis to it. Is it any good? it's as good as everybody else's, and it's something they can market with.
Got it.
So
what are the package options? So what's the cost for the 2-week program, and what's the cost for the master's class, if you care to share?
Okay, so $2,500 for fundamentals, $2,500 for advanced, or $5,000 total, and then master class $2,500.
How do people pay you?
Man, that's a great question, because in the day that we live in right now, I mean, of course I'm going to take, check, cash, but man, anywhere from Cash App, Venmo. I mean, I'm taking payments this year that I've never taken before. PayPal, you name it. We kind of try and stay away from the credit card. If they can pay me a different way than a credit card, so that there's no fee for me, then I don't have to say, oh, sorry, I need to take, whatever percentage.
Yeah.
But
how far out to book a course with you, or to book a training with you? How far out?
Usually it's anywhere from 1 to 4 months. Like right now, I'm scheduling for the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So and I've already got half of September kind of filled. And so I'm already a couple months out. Typically, if somebody's calling me and saying, hey, they're willing to wait.
What's the best way for them to reach you to do that?
They can go to paintlessdentrepairuniversity.com, go down to the bottom, click the email, rob@pdr-u.com,
mm-hmm.
and it's going to go right to my phone.
Gotcha.
So either that, or they can call me 502-345-0708.
There you go.
And text me, and I'll answer right away.
The question I ask at the end of all the podcasts, and this is just kind of a fun one: where do you see the future of PDR going, and how are you helping?
Man, that's one of those things that we sit at Mobile Tech Expo and mash that out. Because you got old school guys that are sitting there going, there's too many technicians. And then I've got people that are coming from areas that don't have PDR guys. I mean, literally, I get people that are sent by body shops and dealerships that say, we don't have a PDR guy consistently in our area. You go to class and we're going to use you. And so, so I think I mentioned this before, 3 guys came to training, 2 guys get out of training. Within a couple weeks after they get out of training, they're working cannonball size hail at a body shop, rocking some numbers that they've told me, but they're rocking numbers that any dent guy would just love to do. Why in the world would they, on a recent storm, why in the world would they do that if there wasn't room for other guys, if there was dent guys in every corner?
So do you believe that their future is bright?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And because the retail part of our industry is growing, and there's not dent guys everywhere. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to, there's a lot of dent guys. I mean, in Texas this year, there's dent guys everywhere. Okay. I mean, that's, if you're a hail guy and you're not doing Texas this year, then guess what? You're not a hail guy. But in other areas of the country, I mean, I'm training guys that are coming from areas that don't have dent guys consistently. And I'm not saying that these are big producing areas, but I'm just saying I'm seeing a lot of dent technicians come from areas that are underserved. Mm-hmm. So in areas of our industry, it's bright. In other areas of our industry, we're a dumpster fire. I mean,
we won't go down that road
because
I'll keep the question.
But the question is, what do I see our industry? Mm-hmm. I mean, from my standpoint, I'm training people that are going and they are working. Literally, they're going on Monday, working someplace that another dent guy's not working. So the whole attitude, there's dent guys everywhere. Listen, there's not dent guys everywhere. and I'm training people to go into areas that are underserved. Okay. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it.
I got it. Last question, just a broad question. If there's anything else I didn't
Yeah.
cover, anything else you want to share to potential people looking to hire you before we wrap it up?
You know, on my website, I've got a blog post of the 10 things that you need to look for in a trainer. And one of the things that I'm going to recommend, because I have people call me and they're like, well, you know, I'm like, hey, you know what? You need to interview other trainers. I mean, all the questions that you ask me I get asked probably 10 times a week by prospects calling me about training. Okay, well, you know, I may not be your guy, but call around and make sure that, you know, hey, have you been a technician before? You know, this is what they need to be asking. Have they been a technician? How long? How long have you been training? How many people? All those things. Interview a lot of trainers, because you ask somebody that's looking for training, you'll know when you get to that guy. You go, oh yeah, I can interface with that guy. It's, you know, I click. You know, I've told people that when I mean, I've, as a trainer, I mean, there's been a couple people that I've talked to. They're engineers, and I'll say, I'm not your guy. Go find somebody else. Okay, so interview lots of people, lots of trainers, and get the one that you think is going to fit with you. Because I mean, it's an investment, and you know, you don't do these things kind of spur of the moment. Typically, someone who's looking for training has been, I mean, they've been on my website, that have been on everybody else's website, and you know, they've asked everybody, and that's what I'm going to say is that make sure you do your due diligence, just to make sure that you get good value for your investment.
There you go. We'll end it with that. Thanks for coming on, Rob.
Hey, have a great day.
Appreciate it.